welcome in. For this week's episode, we decided to watch a few episodes of the Playboy Murders. Now, what we did is Dawn picked a couple of episodes and I picked a couple. There is 3 seasons of this show, so there was so much to actually choose from. What we're going to do is we're going to take turns going from season 1 to season 3 on what we actually chose, and we're going to kind of give you a rundown of that episode, and at the end, we're going to come back in and let you know what we thought about them if we think you should go watch.
And on a side note, I freaking love Holly Madison, who is the host of the Playboy
Mm,
Murders.
yes.
And I loved The Girls Next Door. I don't know when that was, but when she had her show in Vegas, I think it was called Peep Show. It was like a burlesque type show. I went and did a meet and greet with her, and I have a picture and I have a t-shirt.
That's so cool. Yeah,
I
I agree with you.
love
And
it.
who better else to tell us these stories and these tragic murders than someone who's actually lived in the lifestyle, actually been in the home. So I kind of appreciate that she's the one narrating us through as well.
Yeah, that is a good point. It is definitely I have friends who have been in that world. We could probably do a whole side mini-sode on stuff with the Playboy Mansion in general, but I've met Hugh Hefner. So that is a good point. I like that she has that sort of insider view because it is
Right.
not a normal world, you know?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking as I was watching it, and she would she was talking about, like, in my episode, how there was 2 of them. And I'm not gonna give away the what episode it was just yet, but she was like, "2 individuals like that walk in, and they're gladly gonna be welcomed." She already knew because she had been inside in the mansion, so I totally did like that it could have been, I guess, Bridget or Kendra. I don't think either of them would have done it, but I was great and happy to see Holly there.
Yeah, agree. I just ended up picking season 1, episode 1 just because I thought that was a good start for us. So, that very first episode is called Bunny Meets Bachelor, and it's about a girl named Jasmine Fiore, and at the time of her death, she was 28. You know, she grew up in Northern California. She was pretty, blonde, the boobs, like, she looked like a playmate, and she grew up she was an only child, she was raised by a single mom, and she was a little bit of a tomboy, they said, who liked race cars and horses, and then she wanted to do some modeling, so she started spending time in Vegas and Los Angeles, and then she started going to pool parties at the mansion and doing golf events for Playboy. She really wanted to be a centerfold, and they didn't say I don't think that ever happened, but, she kept submitting for that. So she really enjoyed that lifestyle of Playboy and what it stood for. So there was this guy, Ryan Jenkins, and he seemed sort of obsessed with being famous. He was on a reality show it was a dating show, and it was all these guys trying to date this playmate named Megan. And so he went on that show. They sort of secretly were dating, even though they were on this show. You know, when you're doing those shows, it's scripted, and the producers are ultimately saying what's going to happen. Sorry if no one knows that, but that's what happens. So this girl, Megan, wanted to pick Ryan, but the producers told her no. She didn't have time to tell Ryan, hey, this is what's going on. I wanted to pick you. They told me no. So it was in the moment of, I'm not choosing you. And obviously he got upset. She said that he kept calling her over and over, but since she was filming, she couldn't answer him and she couldn't really explain to him what happened. So then a couple of days later, he tells her that he met someone and got married. That someone was Jasmine Fiore, the girl that I was speaking of a couple of minutes ago. He's now married in this whirlwind. I met this girl and married her a couple of days later, telling Megan, hey, this is what happened. The way that Ryan and Jasmine met, they met at a club in Vegas. So, not really, I would say, the best start. And they both apparently shared a birthday, and they both thought that that was some sign that they were meant to be together. They had this whirlwind, they got married, they met on the 16th and got married on March 18th, 2009, 2 days later. And they pretty quickly started having issues. And Jasmine realized that Ryan actually didn't have any money, even though he claimed to. It was his dad who lives in Canada. And so Ryan started dipping into Jasmine's money. No one wants that. Obviously, she didn't like that. At some point here, not too long after, he starts asking Megan, hey, let's go to dinner. She said she did it because she did like him. And she said he just was different. He was pale, he looked thin, and he wasn't really acting like himself. He told her that Jasmine was ruining his life and that neither one of them wanted to be together. Megan's advice to Ryan was to go on another reality show called I Love Money that was filming in Mexico. She said maybe some of that space would be a good thing for him, her, all of it. He goes, he does this show, and this is in now July of 2009. So this is 4 months after they're married. He goes on the show. While he's there, he's, emailing and calling Megan, and they're kind of going back and forth, talking about how terrible his relationship is with Jasmine. This night, August 13th, I think it was. Let me double check that because I want to make sure that's factual. August 13th. Okay.
What
So,
a jerk.
what a jerk. Yeah, don't get married after meeting someone in Vegas at a club for 2 days, knowing them. That's my
Maybe
advice.
get to know somebody a little bit better. Sadly,
And that
yeah.
sounds so shitty and victim blamey, and I kind of regret that that just came out of my mouth, but
I would like you to
I
at
don't
least
know.
get to know them a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Ryan and Jasmine go to a poker tournament in San Diego together. They're seen on cameras, getting out of the car, going into the hotel. You can see them, and they show all this on the show. You can see them walking to their room during the poker tournament. They go through her texts after she passes away. She had been texting one of her exes named Robert Hassman. She had sent a text saying that she wanted Robert, he must be wealthy, to send a plane for her. And she said, I'm done with him. Get me to you. Like, I want to be with you. I don't know if they never said whether he was like, sure, I'll do that. They kind of didn't cover that, which is fine. I don't know if Ryan saw these texts, but at some point they got into an argument. They left and went to an after hours club. They were seen at 12:30 a.m. together. The last text that Robert received, and they didn't say what time it was, said, suck it, which obviously wouldn't have come from Jasmine, clearly, since
No.
she had just been saying, come rescue
That
me.
seems like, bless her heart, she was starting to kind of realize what kind of situation she had herself in when she reached out to the other guy. That's awful. Like it's too late by that point for
Yeah,
her.
yeah.
Mm.
So they leave the after hours, and then the last time that she is seen is at 2:30 a.m. And then at 4:30 a.m., 2 hours later, he's seen running to their room in the hotel down the hall. And then their room had this back patio with a sliding door. What they think is that he attacked her in the car, brought her in through the back sliding door because you can't walk her through a hotel if she's all beat up and attacked. So they think that he brought her in through the back patio slider door and that she was probably in bad shape. That's where and when he ended up killing her by strangling her. She also, and this is where it gets graphic, she also was dismembered. She had no teeth and all of her fingers and her thumbs were cut off. He was definitely trying to keep them from being able to identify her.
100%. Yeah,
Right.
most definitely.
So they think then he put her into a suitcase and wheeled her out that same back patio door because you don't see him coming out with that suitcase ever again. But in the video of where they came into the hotel, they have that suitcase, but he doesn't leave with it. In fact, when he leaves that day, a couple hours later, around 6:30 a.m., he just has his clothes in his hand, like
And of
carrying.
course, I'm assuming they did not find a suitcase inside of the room.
No, and she
Oh, right.
was dismembered in the suitcase.
Yeah. So
So
there's nothing in there. Yeah. You can't even try to say, oh, well, I left it in there and you already, no,
no, no.
they found it. It's yours.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was the same day. I think it was the day after they got a phone call, the police, from someone who said, "Hey, there's this suitcase in a dumpster. I think there's a little kid in it." So they go, they find Jasmine, but she has no teeth or fingers or thumbs, so they can't identify her. However, breast implants have serial numbers. And so they ran it, and that was how they found out that it was Jasmine. And they figured that out pretty quickly. But in the meantime, Ryan had left. He was on his way back to Canada.
Mm.
So they're calling, he's not answering. They finally get a hold of him, and he tells them that he hadn't seen her since the day before. But he's on camera with her that night in the middle of the night. So
Mm.
clearly a lie. I mean, they don't know that yet because they haven't seen that footage, but
Right.
the fact that he ran was already suspicious to them. So at one point, the Coast Guard sees him out in his boat driving around, and then he docked, walked into Canada, had his sister pick him up. He went to a motel in Hope, Canada, and then he ended up hanging himself in the motel. He left a letter that basically blamed Jasmine, saying that she was a monster.
Right.
So, he admitted he did it. He died, which honestly, I'm just going to say it. In all of these circumstances, I just wish these people would all kill themselves because going through a murder trial for me, for my niece, was worse than all of the what happened when it actually happened. The murder
Mm.
trial is terrible. So whenever I hear that someone killed themselves, I'm like, oh, that saved the family so much agony. In the end, they said that it prompted the reality TV world to kind of implement more rigorous background checks and raise bigger concerns about participant safety. So that's
Good.
good. The girl, though, Megan, who that show that he was on trying to date her, unfortunately, that whole incident, she was always kind of tied to it, even though she didn't do anything. And it was, she was an inactive participant. It killed her career. Her show got canceled and she never really was able to recover from that. So that kind of sucks for her.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. That's season 1, episode 1, Bunny Meets Bachelor. And these are just quick recaps. You should watch it. There's obviously way more information and footage, and they interview a lot of people in these episodes.
Oh, yes, most definitely. Started into season 2, episode 1, and I watched Double Trouble. That is about Sandy and Mandy Bentley. They are twins, and they grew up in Joliet, Illinois. They were brought up as strict Catholics. They weren't allowed to date boys. Their dad was an alcoholic, and it seemed like their life was kind of rough. But the two of those girls, they were very smart. They went to Catholic school where they both graduated and both went on to, want to do things in life. Eventually, they both decide to take a road trip to Los Angeles and they went to the Garden of Eden. Now, guess who they met there? They met no other than Hugh Hefner. He automatically had a thing for twins. So these girls were right up his alley. They both become well known at the Playboy Mansion. And by 1998, they were both living there and both became Hugh Hefner's girlfriends. They were both 22 by this time. Now, Mandy was reserved and Sandy, she was business minded. They were both living in this mansion. They had a curfew. They couldn't date anyone else. They always had to be ready to get going and look great at all times. They had a weekly allowance of $1,000 a week. And when, of course, when it come to going to parties and gatherings, they had to look their best, and there was allowance for that as well. They wanted a boob job, if they wanted a nose job, whatever they wanted, it was taken care of, no worries. In 1999, now Sandy met a guy named Mark Yagala. He was rich. He had lots of money and he could have cared less about what Hugh Hefner thought or any of his rules. Sandy was being lavished by him. He was purchasing her homes, lavish cars. It was said that he spent $7 million on her during their relationship. Guess who sees them out while they're in the restaurant? One of Hugh Hefner's friends. In the fall of 2000, Sandy and Mandy ended it with Hefner and they moved out of the mansion. Mark and her got together before she was living in Las Vegas. By that point, it kind of come to light that all of this money that he had, he wasn't coming by it honestly. He was stealing it from investors and he had bought her all kinds of jewelry, whatever you could think of. This girl had it. As they are seizing up everything, they also come to question Sandy about the jewels, about the jewelry, as the clothing, any kind of properties, any kind of cars. They want it because they have already sentenced him to 5 years in prison and they're coming back trying to get some of the money, anything that they could sell to give back to the victims who did lose so much money. It ends out that Sandy, she didn't know where a lot of this stuff is. She said she had had some of it stolen and she only had what little bit was in the house. They show up to check it out. Of guess what? In 2001, Sandy's not there. They get in. The CSS is at a dead end. They cannot find the jewelry. They cannot find Sandy. Finally, they find out that Sandy is living in LA. And 2002, 1 year after Mark Gala's arrest, we kind of get tricky there. You have a black luxury SUV, and it is found engulfed in flames. Who is inside? There's two people. You have gunshot wounds to the back of their head, and it looked like if you would sit in the back of the seat, the shooter had actually sat and shot them both in the back of the head and then set the SUV on fire. Now, the funny thing about that was nobody knew who these people were. It was really crazy. Who would want to hurt somebody like this way? It was very, very violent. Those two victims ended up being Michael Tardio, Sandy's new boyfriend, and his best friend Chris Monson. Now they had both worked at the Garden of Eden, and both were well off and lived pretty respectable lives. So the police couldn't figure out why anybody would have wanted to hurt them for sure. Now they go to check the car. That was actually a rental car, and it was rented 2 days earlier to Michael. It was a luxury car, like I said. It was a very nice ride. He wanted, obviously, to impress someone. The police officers, they are looking for any kind of clues or anyone to talk to, so they head to the Garden of Eden, and that is where they run into Sandy. Now, she identifies herself as Michael's girlfriend and says she cannot get a hold of him, and that is where she finds out what happened. Sandy said that she seen them the night before, and Michael went somewhere in Hollywood with Chris. Michael told her to call Michael Jacobs if anything happened. She didn't know anything else other than that. So the cops get Jacob's cell phone records, and he has been in contact with Michael. The detectives talk with Michael, and he gives an alibi of being with his girlfriend. And it turns out that by the cell phone the towers, they were pinging that he wasn't telling the truth and he was more so by the crime scene. That never really did come to a head by that point because I was really confused and they cleared him. That was just really strange. I was really confused, so I can't clear that part up for you because I'm still confused. Sandy also becomes a suspect because of the missing jewelry, and that was reported stolen. Remember when we're going to go back to where they were looking for the rest of the jewelry? She said it had been stolen, so they were kind of wondering had Chris and Mike, had something to do with it. Come to find out, guess where the jewelry was? In the SUV. So now Sandy, they know that she's had something to do with it. Can they completely tie her to it? No, they don't know. But Sandy, she's about to lose everything before she is completely, we're stepping back before the murders. Sandy's about to lose everything. Chris and Michael, they want to help Sandy. So they help her steal furs, jewelry, and money. They put it in the car, and Michael goes and buys a money counter. He buys a money counting pen. He thinks that they're getting ready to make some money. So they find a buyer, and that buyer, he actually backs out because he's looking at this jewelry and he's looking at this stuff, and they're kind of wondering, where's it coming from? But wait, hold your breath. We got another buyer. We got one named Mr. Big. And Mr. Big says that he is ready to meet them. And so Michael, he wants to, look like a big shot. We're going to go back to that luxury vehicle. Michael rents that luxury SUV and he asks his best friend Chris Monson to head with him as kind of, just a partner, a lookout, somebody to hang with him and give him a little bit of security, I guess, just to make him feel better. He's going on this big luxury ride and he's going to come back with all kinds of money. So why wouldn't you want your friend to go with you? The last call that Sandy got, Michael was on his way to meet Mr. Biggs, and that's all that she knew. The police, they look for the jewelry, hoping to find the murderer. They still to this day do not know who Mr. Biggs is. This is a cold case from 2002. The jewelry, okay, I'm confused by this point, and I want to say it because I talked about earlier how they found the jewelry in the SUV, and promise you that you might want to watch this and double check me. But also, they had said that they think the remainder of the jewelry may have been melted down. So I'm not sure if maybe there was some to lead them that that's what was going on between Chris and Michael. You got Mr. Biggs in the back, you got the jewelry, the guns, whatever they're handing back and forth for money. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am, I'm gone. So they think maybe it might have possibly been melted down. And to this day, Sandy and Mandy, they both have stayed out of the spotlight. Mandy is now raising a family. It did not say anything about Sandy. I'm not sure what she is doing to this day. And I'm not sure that I, I don't know. Do you think she still might have some of those?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. Yeah, I'm gonna say so. Yeah.
Okay, I hate cold cases, so I didn't love the ending on that one. And some of you all don't watch enough true crime because why are you pinging cell phones in areas of murders? That's all.
You're just making one of those great big maps of the United States with the tacks or the pins all through it. It's exactly you're pinging and ponging off of everything. Ping pong,
It's like
completely.
the first rule of murder.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never do anything like that, but I have kind of realized maybe y'all should have read up a little bit before you tried being bad individuals.
Right.
I don't know. This is season 2, episode 2, The Bunny and Charles Manson. Now, this episode's about Victoria Vitri, aka she's also known as Angela Dorian and Victoria Rathjeff. She was a California girl. Her father owned a restaurant. Her mother was a model. Both were very successful. She inspired to be an actress, and she was Italian. She began acting and modeling in her teens, and in 1962, Victoria won Hollywood Star. She wasn't getting big roles, so she thought Playboy could really start a career because around that time, Playboy was reaching around 5 million eyes, and that right there was about the amount that you would get reached in a big time series, a big time movie. So she thought, why not? Let's give this a try. Now, as much as a big movie picture, she knew this was obviously one of her big ways that she could go. Hefner offered her her own spread. She hoped it would lead to launching her career. Playboy of the Month, 1967, that was her. She had one full page nude, and the rest they kind of chose to show her actress side. They wanted to kind of show that she wasn't just a pretty face and a sexy body, that she was an actress. She was inspiring to become this beautiful as she, gosh, was. She, have you seen pictures of her?
I watched all of these episodes, yeah,
Oh, she's
yeah.
gorgeous. She just wanted to become as aspiring actress as she was as beautiful. But she become Playboy of the Month, like I said, in 1967. She got that one full page nude, and the rest was just to do that. Like I said, she had a little bit of here was with a phone, and here I'm being an actress on this picture. I really liked how they did that. Now she became popular and then become Playmate of the Year in 1968. She, for that, got a pink Playmate AMX, and that is a very special car. It's going to come into play toward the end. That was actually her favorite car. Now, after Playmate of the Year, she did get bigger roles. She got a part in Rosemary's Baby. That was wrote by Roman Polanski, and that's when she changed her name to Victoria Vitri. That was really a big year for her. That time, Sharon Tate, he was dating Roman Pulowski, and she was spending a lot of time around while they were filming, and she had already been a Playboy, and her and Victoria become instant best friends. 1969, Sharon and Roman, they married, they become with child, they just started to nest, they stayed in California. They had a knock on the door, they kind of go, and there's this strange little character standing there at the door. Victoria said that he really creeped her out. I think she was really taken aback by probably the way he was acting, the way he was speaking, and she was scared. And she was also afraid that when they shut the door, that Charlie had heard her and it angered him. That really, really stuck with her. And she was really scared that maybe when he left, he had heard what she said. Now, Manson at that time, he was living at Spawn Ranch with his family. I'm going to put in quotations. They kind of lived on this little commune ranch thing. August 8th, 1969, that's going to be 1 week after Charlie went to the house, the Tate house. Tate was having a little get together. Victoria, she was supposed to be there, but she wasn't feeling very good. So she decided to stay home that night. Now, Manson, he had he sent his family that way, and he actually, people are going to say that he was the murderer, but he actually sent the family that way. They cut the family's phone lines, and then that's when the murders happened. There was five that lost their life. You had Sharon Tate, her friend Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Stephen Parent, and Wojciech Frykowski. 2 days later, Leno and Rosemary
La Bianca.
LaBianca, I, yeah, were murdered in their home. And they did say seven total murder victims, but we're going to go back, as Dawn did correct that, it's going to be eight because you did have Sharon Tate's unborn child. Now, Manson was caught by the family stealing cars. They arrested him in an auto theft. Susan Atkins, she actually confessed to her cellmates about this, and that's how they got caught. All through this, Victoria was horrified that she could have been one of the victims, and she was scared that either Manson or some of the others in the family were going to come back out and come after her. Victoria also was worried that her comment had caused the murders. She lived in a constant state of fear, thinking that they were coming after her. Roman, that was Sharon Tate's husband. He gave her a gun shortly after to protect herself. She didn't work for a while because she was extremely paranoid. And when she did started working, her roles become more sexy and she become more of a sex symbol, not what she was going for. In 1975, she stopped working. She retired, but in 1984, she comes back for Playboy for the special edition. It's Playmates Forever Part 2. She's very happy. She ends up in the top 100 centerfold of all time. It's a really big time for her. Now, after that, she continues to become a waitress and she meets Bruce Rathgeb and she marries him. October 16th, we're going to jump to 2010, and that's on a Saturday. 911 calls with shooter in progress, victim down. They arrive to a two-story apartment building. The responding officer sees a victim down in the hallway with a gunshot wound to the upper chest. Bruce is still alive and they take him to the hospital. Police enter, they see that there's a struggle and a big uproar has taken place in this apartment. Victoria standing there and she gives a statement that a drug dealer named Lee shot Bruce because he owed him money. They find a little baggie of meth and a 38 caliber shell casing. They also found Victoria's Playboys tore up all around the apartment, which would be kind of strange if it was just over. That was really weird to me. I thought that when I was watching. But Victoria gives the drug dealer's address. They go and question him. He cooperates. He gives his alibi. He's cleared. Now, guess who's suspect? It's Victoria. Victoria's been married to Bruce for 20 years. She struggled for addiction with addiction. She's had money issues, and she's still all this time been fearing Manson. In 2000, that's when her drugs use started. She become broke. She was living off of her Social Security, and she only had $800. Sadly, she sold her pink AMX, and we know how much she really, really loved that car. Bruce, in fact, did make it. He did not die, and he is actually able to give his account. Bruce moves out. They aren't able to work it out. They fight a lot of drug use and alcohol. You know how that goes. They did go to they did meet up. They wanted to get together and talk about working it out. They have a drink that night. Bruce tears up her Playboy's magazines and he wrecks the apartment. So now we're going back to the scene where the officers walk in, the apartment's a wreck, and the magazines are tore up. Now, Bruce says that he goes to leave the apartment and Victoria shoots him. She also admits that she shot him. She used the gun she said that Roman gave her. Victoria never got over the murder of her friend Sharon Tate. Bruce did live, but if he would have been shot just 3 inches closer to the middle of his chest, he would have died. And I'm thinking that they all kind of think that maybe Victoria thought, you're going to see where I'm going with this, what she was shooting Charlie Manson when she shot her husband. So at this time, Victoria, he did say that she was paranoid and they argued all the time. She did face 25 years in prison for shooting him. She pled guilty to second degree manslaughter and she ended up getting 9 years in prison. The judge and the court did take her mental health into consideration and the fact that she was so paranoid and there was drug use. All of that was looked at. They, of course, divorced while she was in prison, and she was released in 2019 and moved to Arizona. She found her old pink car, her AMX, and now she actually appears at car shows. So it was a happy ending for Victoria and for Bruce. He was able to make it out alive. She was able to find her pink car, and I guess everything's okay now. Bless her heart. I hate that, but at least they're all everybody's still alive.
Yeah, and I'm sure along with the paranoia, she is probably feeling guilty too all that time.
Mhm. Like I said, she had extreme guilt that her comment is what caused that murder.
Yeah,
So,
so
drug use,
exactly.
paranoia, and who knows what was going on after they had that drink that night. She very well could have seen Charlie Manson standing there in front of Bruce, and it kinda does back it up with the neighbors saying, no more Charlie," is what she was saying after she did shoot, so maybe she was talking about there's gonna be no more Charlie to haunt her.
Yeah, it's probably good the neighbor overheard that because then it could back up her mental health issues.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm assuming, it didn't really go into full detail, but I am assuming that while she was, away for those 9 years, maybe she was able to get some of the help that she needed to cope with that. I mean, that's a lot of stress. Her best friend was murdered, and it was in a place that she was supposed to be that night. If she hadn't have been feeling well, she would have been there, and she would have had the same fate because none of them made it out. Not even then the Stephen Parent
Yeah,
in the
and
car.
I mean, since she was actively using drugs, I'm guessing she probably never got therapy for what she went
Right.
through, you know?
Drugs probably was what was supposed to help her cope.
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
she'll never hear this, but if you do, like, I smiled so big, and at the end for those of you that are watching, my very end says, "Happy ending for Victoria." Like, that did it worked out in the end, even though it was pretty hard to get there.
Right. And then I covered as our last one, season 3, episode 1. And season 3 is still airing, so I think that there are only a few episodes out from what I saw. So this one, season 3, episode 1, it's called Last Dance. This one I think is really important, and I'll tell you at the end what it is, but there is a petition that if anyone wants, it would be great if you sign it. I did it, and I think it's important. So for anyone listening, I'll give you that link at the end. This one is about Kimberly Fattorini. At the time of her death, she was 30, and she was born in 1986 in Los Angeles, and she earned a double major in business administration and economics, and she was a casting director for Playboy. Kim met this guy, Sam Rima, and I hope I said that right. Sam Rima. She was 21 at the time. This was in 2008, and he was actually in casting for Playboy. So within a year, they had been friends and then they started dating. And he's actually the one that hired her as his assistant in casting at Playboy. So that's how she got into that. She was also doing other things. You know, she didn't want to pose nude, but she did other things like Playboy radio and she did other kinds of modeling where she wasn't nude. So they had dated for over 8 years. At some point, you know, she had a conversation with him that she wanted to have kids and get married. And he just wasn't feeling that at the time for himself where he was in his life. So they broke up. In February 2017, she moved out and she moved in with her friend. Somewhere in that same month, February 2017, she met this guy, Eli Webby, who was a club promoter in Hollywood. They would hang out over the next couple of months. They would go out and party. Her friends didn't really like this Eli guy. Sometimes when they all went out together, her friends would leave because they thought that Eli was rude and he would make them uncomfortable. So on July 20th, 2017, Kim, she went out with her friend Monica Moss, and she's another person that her friend that they interviewed said that she didn't really like. And I don't think a lot of Kim's friends liked this Monica girl. On this night, July 20th, 2017, they all went to a club where Eli was the promoter. The next morning, her roommate wakes up, Kim's not there, and it's late, you know? I don't know, I guess that wasn't normal for her, so her friend's gut was like, "Something here is not right." So she goes on her social just to see what pictures people have been posting from the night before or anything that might tell her where her friend Kim is. She sees that she has an Instagram message from Monica Moss. Instagram message says Kim isn't breathing. Her friend calls Sam, the ex-boyfriend, And apparently, Sam had the same message as well. So both of them drive to Monica's apartment. And when they arrive there, Monica's sitting outside crying. They knew, obviously, something's terribly wrong here. So Monica says that she saw Kim doing coke and drinking. Kim went to sleep on Monica's couch. Monica went to bed, woke up at 3 p.m. and found Kim, and she didn't appear to be able to breathe. At that point, she had called 911, and that call was a person not breathing. She told them that she'd been out, partying with her friend all night, and the paramedics come and they say that she's not alive and the death appeared to be an accidental overdose. So now the coroner takes her away, and it's said that there was no sexual assault, but there was also no rape kit done. So how do
How
you
do you
know?
know?
How do you know?
Yeah.
But she was found, half naked. Her jeans were unzipped and unbuttoned. Her bra was twisted funny. So I don't know. I'm going to go with they probably should have done a rape kit. And then they get the toxicology back. It shows that she has cocaine and 2 times the legal limit of alcohol, but she has very high levels of GHB, which is the date rape drug.
Mm. Ding
So,
ding.
yeah, once they see that, they re-interview Monica Moss, who all of a sudden has a new story. So now what Monica Moss is saying is that, oh, there were guys around. We weren't just at my apartment alone. There was Eli, the club promoter, and there was Sean Merriman, who is a football player for, I think, the Chargers at the time. So now we have a completely different story involving men. She says that Sean had ordered an Uber for all of them to go to Monica's house apartment. She claims now that she passed out, and when she woke up, she found Kim and Sean in her bed. And so then she went to the living room. So, kind of opposite of what she told the police the first time. She says when she finds Kim unresponsive, Sean is still there and says, I got to leave. The media is going to catch on to this. And he bounces. He's gone. Eli Webby, the club promoter, is served a search warrant, and they go through his text messages. His text, they're, ugh, they're disgusting. He basically treated these girls like pieces of meat and was texting his male friends, I have these girls over here, come over now, just basically
Ew.
insinuating, come over and you can have these girls. Like, it's so gross what went on in these text messages. They ask Eli specifically about the GHB, and he says, oh, yeah, Sean parties with it, but I don't know if he had it on him that night. This case goes cold. They just let it go. In 2019, so 2 years later after Kim has passed, her parents end up filing a civil lawsuit against Sean, Eli, and Monica. There's another club promoter, Nick Ritchie, who is like, this is so insane. And he releases the court documents from the civil suit, and it goes viral. Everyone is now seeing these disgusting texts. At one point, she was texting people saying that Sean gave her G, meaning GHB, and she was asking for help. And
Mm.
so, it's unbelievable that nothing happened. The family and friends of Kim thinks that Sean worked with the cops to cover this stuff up because he's a famous football player. I'm going to be on board with that and say I believe that as well. And I think that he did something. I certainly think he sexually assaulted her. And I think that either I don't know if he accidentally overdosed her with GHB. I don't know, but I think he is responsible for her death. The one good thing that's come out of this is that activists are calling for reform in nightlife safety and, like greater accountability in cases involving drug facilitated assaults and things like that. So there is a petition out there. You can find it on change.org by the hashtag Justice for Kim. And it's basically saying, reopen this case. So if you're so inclined, it would be great if you could go to change.org and sign that petition. And I don't know if you watch this episode and you feel moved, feel free to post about the episode with the hashtag Justice for Kim so that people will see the story and hopefully we can get this case opened again.
Nice. Yeah. Everybody go there. I'm at ready to go there. I've got it started as soon as we get done.
Yeah, I already signed it, like, I think a week ago. The show in general, we already talked about how much we like Holly. So,
Mhm.
the Playboy Murders, I rate it I rate it a 9.5. I like
Really?
Yeah, I like all the interviews. I think it's edited well. I love the host, clearly. They try to put in footage when they can.
Mm.
So I like it. I've watched them all except the last couple that came out in the new season.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna give it a solid 9. Definitely go watch these episodes. I've done watched a few now, and I like them.
Same. I know. And it's the perfect thing for her to be doing because I know she's sort of paranormal and true crime to a lot of people go hand in hand. And I know she's into paranormal. So
Mhm.
it just seems like a good fit for her.
I agree, I agree. I w it and I it's not that I didn't enjoy watching her because I've always watched her ever since I was younger, so I was happy to see her.
Yeah, me too. I was so excited when I first saw it pop up in my things to watch. I had no idea it was coming out, but there it was. And now I've watched almost all of them. So,
I'm on
yeah,
my way.
recommend. Go watch it, everybody.
Absolutely, yes.
All right. Well, we are going to finish out our Playboy series. And we have a couple more. We're doing the horror one and the paranormal one, also about Playboy. So this one's fun. I'm glad that we decided to do it.
I can't wait till we do the paranormal one. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Watch the movie that was made. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we will meet back here in a week. Thank you, everyone, for listening. And yeah, see you soon. Bye.
And bye.